Hello everyone, welcome to another video with Rahul. Some people ask me, how do they decide what is the right AWS certification for them? This is the question I'm trying to answer in this video. So I'll quickly walk you through what are the various AWS certifications, what is the focus of each AWS certification, which is the AWS certification that might be right for you, and how you can save some money on AWS certifications. So AWS highlights that there are four type of certifications. One is the foundational, where it expects you to have 6 months of fundamental AWS cloud and industry knowledge. Then you have the associate ones. There are three based on your role. So it could be a solution architect, either sysops if you are in the operations, and then developer. Then you have the professional, where it expects you to have at least 2 years of comprehensive experience. So if you are on the solution architect track, then you have AWS Solution Architect Professional. If you are on the SysOps or developer, then you have the DevOps Engineer Professional. And then you have the some specialty AWS certification. So if you are a network engineer, then you can go for advanced networking, data analytics. If you're on the database side, you can go for a database specialty, machine learning. And if you're a security engineer, then you can go for AWS certified security specialty. Okay, now let's go through each of them in detail. So you have the AWS Cloud Practitioner. Basically, it's a 90 minutes exam. It costs you about $100, and you have about 65 MCQs. So what is the core objective of this exam? It tests at you at a very high level on, something like what is the AWS cloud value, what is AWS shared responsibility model, and it also tests you some core AWS services and support plans at a high level. So this certification is suitable for absolute beginners who don't have any exposure to AWS. And you can also see I have put some sample questions from the AWS side. They are very, very basic. So here you can see why is AWS more economical than the traditional data center? Which service would simplify the migration? So there's some very direct basic questions. Okay, now the next one is the AWS Assert level. So as I said, there are three types of Assert certificates for architects, operations, and developers. The length of exam is about 2 hours 10 minutes. It costs about $150, and there are 65 questions that you have to answer in these 130 minutes. So what's the objective of this exam? It basically introduces you to most AWS services and then dwells deeper into some of the key AWS services. So some it will test you at a high level, but others it will test you at a much deeper level. Then depending on whether you are in the architect, ops, or developer space, it will focus on either the design, develop, or monitor and maintain. So who is this certification suitable for? It's usually for people either who are trying to get into these kind of roles, or most likely where you already have some experience, but it will help you expand the breadth of the AWS services that you know. So if you are, say, already working on AWS, you are still limited to a few AWS services. You are not going to use all the AWS services. So what this exam is going to do is give you a breadth and depth of the AWS services. So depth could only be for a few, but yeah, overall it will give the breadth and depth in some. So you can see some of the questions that are here. You can see here, okay, they are talking about developing a web application using stateless web servers. So which services are suitable for storing session data, right? So it could be either DynamoDB or Elastic Cache. Elastic load balancing uses sticky sessions. So this is what it will test you on. Now you have the AWS professional level certification. So this is a really complex exam, and whether you are on solution architect, so that you have the AWS solution architect professional. If you are on the either ops or developer, then your focus is going to be DevOps engineer professional. So the length of the exam is about 180 minutes. You have 75 questions and costs a lot more, about $300. As I said, the objective of this exam is to give you an organization view. How do you implement AWS at an enterprise level, and the focus is going to be even for service for each individual services. How do you deploy across regions? And then the third thing it tests on, how do you integrate different services with each other? Okay, so then who is it suitable for? So it's usually it is recommended that you pass the AWS Solution Architect exam, or you pass all the three, and then you can go for the AWS professional level certification. I mean, there is no hard and fast rule that you cannot try this directly, but it is usually not recommended. So you can see the set of questions that you have here on your left. So you can see the number of such questions that you have would be about 75. So each question is about 5-6 lines, and your answers about 2-3 lines. So it gets really complex unless you have the depth of the knowledge. Then finally, you have the AWS specialty certification. So it's again about 170 minutes. It costs 300 USD, and there are about 65 questions and 170 minutes. So this exam is focused on very specific areas. So if you are trying to be a security architect or security engineer or a networking engineer, then this is the certification for you. It will test you in very specific area of that particular domain. So who is this exam intended for? So it's intended for people working in specialized roles such as security, networking. So here's a question that is focused on security. So this is one of the sample questions that I have taken from the sample questions. Okay. Now the most key question is, how do you go about deciding which certification you should pursue? So here what I have done is I have highlighted all the key roles that are there from AWS perspective, and then what are the must-have certifications, bare minimum certification you need for that role, what is a good to have, and then there are some optional. So if you are a beginner, if you have no exposure to AWS and you're just getting started, so you can either start with the cloud practitioner or you can start with AWS solution architect. The problem with directly starting with AWS solution architect is that there is a large knowledge gap, and sometimes you just might want to have an intermediate certification that gives you confidence. So if you do cloud practitioner, it will give you some introduction to the AWS services, and you give the exam, so it gives you some confidence, and then you move on to solution architect. But the downside is that you would have to spend about $100 here. Okay. Now, if you're an AWS solution architect, then the first must-have certification you need is AWS Solution Architect Associate. Or if you intend to be join that in that role, then this is a must-have certification. Then next you can go for either AWS Developer and SysOps, or you can directly go for Solution Arc Professional. The thing is that if you do Developer and SysOps, it will give you more breadth of knowledge, how you use various services for monitoring, for deployment, which will be useful in the solution architect professional, because solution architect professional is a really complex exam. So ideally it's recommended that you do all three associate level and then go for AWS solution architect professional. Then the optional one, you can also do DevOps professional if you've already done all four. So if you're a cloud engineer or developer, you can start with AWS Solution Architect. So I recommend that whether you are a AWS Cloud Engineer, Developer, Solution Architect, or Admin, the first certification that you should take is AWS Solution Architect, because it gives you an overview of all the AWS services. Even if as a developer or SysOps, you're going to focus on very specific services, it's good to have a deeper knowledge of all the AWS services and options that you have available. So I would strongly recommend, even if you are a cloud engineer developer, go with AWS Solution Architect, then go for AWS Developer. Then you can go for SysOps. SysOps one is a really complex. I found that really complex when I gave that exam. And then you can go for DevOps Professional. And then finally, optional is AWS Solution Architect Professional. If you are an admin, or administrator, AWS administrator, or support engineer, you follow the same path. You go for AWS solution architect. Then you can look at either sysops or developer. Developer is much easier compared to sysops, so I would recommend go for developer. Then do the sysops, and then as a next step, do AWS DevOps professional. Then in the optional space, you can do AWS solution architect professional. Now, if you are in specialty roles, say security, DB, data engineer, then again, what I would strongly recommend is go for AWS Solution Architect. So it gives you the breadth of AWS services that are there and what are the options available to you. Because even if you are focused on a specific area, you need to have an understanding of how they will integrate with other services. Then I've just highlighted security here, but it can be any based on your role. So if you are in the networking side, then you can do advanced networking after solution architect. If you're on the database side, you can do solution architect and then the database. If you are in security, so then you do these two. And then optional, you can do the DevOps engineer or solution architect, maybe solution architect first. Then if you are in some management roles as Scrum Master, Program Manager, Business Development, a couple of key ones, you can either start with Cloud Practitioner or Solution Architect. Yeah, depending on the pace that you want to do it. And then as an option, you can do a AWS Solution Architect Professional. Okay, so one thing you can save, how we can save money on AWS certifications is every certification that you give in the next exam, you get 50% off. So you can see here, this is from a screenshot from my page. So I appeared for sysops one, and then I appeared for the solution architect. So I use that discount coupon. And this is what you can do. Once you get the first exam, the next exam, you use that discount coupon to get 50% off. So what is the order I followed? So I gave the AWS Solution Architect in 2017, but I couldn't get into a AWS role. Then I finally got into an AWS role in 2019, but by then my certification had already expired. So I started in 2020, 2019-20 with AWS Certified Solution SysOps admin, and I found this exam really hard. Uh, then the discount coupon I got from here, I then second one I gave was this one. So I used the discount coupon to get 50%. Then one hack that I used was third one I appeared was cloud practitioner. So the only reason why I appeared for this exam was I was planning to give the AWS Solution Arc professional exam. So I thought, okay, if I use the cloud practitioner, if I give the cloud practitioner exam, I'll get a discount coupon. It's only cloud practitioner only $100. So if I use the discount coupon and this professional is $300, so I'll save $150 even if I'm spending $100 here. But then I got a, coupon, so I didn't actually need to use that 50% discount coupon. But that's something you can look at. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much.